What's going on, you guys? So, you're probably not excited about seeing this screen because you guys know my Let's Play style, and you know that usually means that if I'm here, probably not good thing. It might be a good thing, probably not a good thing. Well, today it's not. I spent probably close to 3.5 to 4 hours today on one of my few days off, and by off I mean I'm procrastinating on studying for something, of course, but I forced myself to procrastinate regardless. And I spent quite a lot of time doing some fun gameplay and recording, and I looked at the footage and analyzed the time several times throughout my recording sessions to make sure that I wasn't going over on an episode or under on an episode, and everything looked fine. And then I went to go edit these videos, and after my 3 to 4 hours of working in the single player world and recording snippets here and there, I discovered that none of the audio kept. This was probably my fault. Actually, it was a combination of fault. I'm blaming, I don't know, either my microphone or something to the effect of Windows, maybe even. Point is, I went to Device Manager just now, looked at the sound recording devices. My microphone wasn't there. I had to unplug it and plug it back in, even though the light on the microphone was glowing red, indicating that it was receiving power and should be working. So I have no clue why it wasn't working. The fault can be turned back around on me because I probably should have looked at those videos and actually watched a little bit of them before I moved on, but I didn't. And so that brings me to this. That was pretty much the straw that broke the camel's back. I've not really had a whole lot of time to do the Let's Play series, as you guys know anyways. So, as unfortunate as it may be, this is pretty much calling it a wrap for this Let's Play. Now, that's not to say that I'm done with Let's Plays, that's not to say that I'm done with YouTube. It just means that this world specifically, not even the single player aspect of it, just this world, is coming to an end. I'm still going to keep this. In fact, I'm probably going to keep a save of this, a zip file of the mod pack at all times, because I really like this pack, and I really like the recipes I've gotten set up for it, the progression from early game to finalized, like finish game, mid game, and finish game, or end game, and I really enjoy just the mod list in general. A lot of that stuff we missed out on early game because of me just exploring what the recipe options would be or what different recipe pathways would be, such as requiring a metal former to make some of the plates, or rather, just some of the different recipes requiring different paths to be taken. And another thing that we really missed out on early game is there was some really good and some really bad terrain generation. Really bad generation that we got, really good generation to be had that we missed out on because the terrain has been made already. But to put it simply, Quark has some really phenomenal new world generation, and I'd like to have more of it as far as within my area having stones and such. Actually Additions was a mod that we added after the fact that added a lot of plants and black quartz ore, and we missed that too. So I think we have some stuff to look forward to, but before we do that, before we say, goodbye, why don't we at least take a look at what we did? Because we did a lot of stuff. We've had this world for over 6 months, I believe. And so for me, that's an accomplishment. I don't normally keep worlds for that long, and I definitely don't stay busy in a world for that long. By now, I've usually gotten incredibly bored. In between the massive data loss of 45 minutes ago, and by data loss I mean audio loss, of 45 minutes ago, and now, here's what I did. This is part of why I'm so cheesed. I actually had done a lot of work up here, believe it or not. I had set up in one episode the improved blast furnace, and in last episode, what was supposed to be the next episode from now, sorry, it's a little confusing, we had actually completely automated this. This is now on a regulation basis, so using a few of the, oh goodness, what are they called? From actual editions, using a few of the ESDs, that's what they're called, we're actually keeping supplied exactly a stack of coal coke and exactly a stack of iron ingots in here, and they're being transferred over using the flat transfer nodes, which you can't see because they're flat, but there's one underneath here. We made all of those last episode. We did a few cool things. I made a spell for my CAD that I've started using again, or my CAD I've started using again, but I made a spell for it as well called Break Block that has a ranged break effect, which is pretty self-explanatory, but also very useful. We made an alveary. This took ages. And this is part of why I'm so mad, is because this was a very long and hard process, and it was gone just like that. The entire video where I showed you guys the recipe and the calculations and the struggle is gone. Not gone, again, it's there, but the audio is broken. So what's even the point? What's even the point? And then finally, we went through and did a few little IC2 things. Not really all that many. We made a mid-tier solar panel, another one, rather. And we went ahead and got started with a little bit of, if I show you back here, this is where its power is directed in. And I started making some iridium, and you can see that that's actually taking a very, very long time as well. Another reason why I'm kind of motivated to be done with the world. And then back here, if I show you the last two things that I did, this is the emitting stuff for the coal coke. So now, finally, oh yes, and I also made a sleeping bag from Vanilla, or V-Tweaks, which is Vanilla Tweaks if you don't know what the V in V-Tweaks stands for. And I had just installed Astral Sorcery. I was kind of looking forward to getting into that next episode, but rip. And also, we'll do that on the new Let's Play. I promise that done with this Let's Play doesn't mean done, like I'm not making videos again. It just means I'm going to take a little break, come back to it in a little while, and it'll be fun. But one of the things that we had done is we did make a wireless crafting monitor to help us keep an eye on what all is being crafted, when and why, and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. And I think that some of the cool practicalities of that were long missed, a little bit overdue. So why don't we go through everything kind of room by room and talk about what all has happened. That way, if we decide to come back to this world, then maybe everything, the entire Let's Play series and stuff isn't completely wasted. It's just a tour. But you guys are going to have to do a really good job of convincing me that I should stick with this world. Like I said, I'm not deleting it. I'm not even going to modify the mod pack in between probably a few days now. But I probably am going to keep this and let you guys voice your opinion on, should I go ahead and just restart after losing 2 episodes, or was this recap good enough? Do you even care? Because if you don't care, and you really do want me to try to find more stuff to do, then I guess I'll make it work. Because I don't mind playing this world. I just also don't mind the concept of resetting. So, it's neither here nor there. It's completely on you guys in the comments. Just be sure to let me know. So here's our automatic obsidian generator. The lava comes from, funny enough, it's actually still coming from a pump in the nether, even though we have plenty of blood magic LP to produce our own, but whatever. And then this is literally just a simple system for detecting lava in front of it and placing it and breaking it, and then also temporarily placing and sucking up a bucket of water just so that the water doesn't overflow into the spot where the lava needs to go. Over here is our refined storage auto crafting for Ender IO machinery. And same goes for the Actual Additions Crusher. If I could do everything over again, or if I had to have fuel to do stuff in the next episode, or next few episodes, it would be to completely pull out the crusher setup that we have with immersive engineering, and make a larger scale version of that exact same thing somewhere in here. But the problem is that this room is not big enough, so that's moving, that kind of lends itself to the concept of making a huge room. I mean, like 20, 30 blocks tall, huge, and pretty big around too, with a nice big chasm and a scaffolded elevator. I actually had a really cool envisioning of what I wanted done, but that is gonna wait now, obviously, at least until some feedback, and do that and have some faster ore processing using the crushers from Immersive Engineering. I still like the crushers from Immersive Engineering, so I'll probably never get rid of that. We have our IC2 auto crafting as well, and the Extraction is being done through phantom faces around the back because, unfortunately, we can only use one side for cable and the other side, the back side, for inputting, and we have no sides available for outputting unless we wanted to either cover these or break this really fun functionality. I really like that low level functionality. Here's our automatic solderer. That's just our setup that we have there. Our input for crafting recipes is here. And this is our storage from Reborn Storage for all of our crafting ingredients. We made a huge, and I mean massive, chamber here for our recipes, and you can see we're not even putting a dent in how many pages we actually needed. We have 27 pages, and we're using like 5, not even completely. We have a crafting monitor there, and that's all I've actually dedicated this room for. But further down the hall, back towards the house, this is the room for all of our oil generation and our combustion generation. So these combustion generators are running off of rocket fuel, and the oil generators are running off of empowered oil, which is being produced, both of which are being produced across the hall. This is where the empowered crystal or the empowered canola seeds are being made, and our empowered crystal oil is being made automatically here. You can see our canola press, and these are our vats making rocket fuel. We have 3 vats for creating rocket fuel, 1 for creating nutrient distillation for our Killer Joe farm, and 2 creating hooch. Over here is our Killer Joe farm. It's just a dark room using some of the cursed earth from extra utilities, as well as if you look in there, it's a little bit difficult to see, but on the right is a wither skeleton powered spawner from Ender.io, and on the left is a blaze powered spawner. Those 2 are automatically turned off whenever our supply for wither skeleton skulls and blaze rods has been sufficiently met. Now, running up a story, we have our tiny cobbleworks. It actually, I love this setup. This works really well, actually. So it's as simple as this. Basically, we have cobblestone being made from a transfer node. We have our smooth stone being smelted. We have gravel being made out of random chance here at the crusher, and then the double crusher, or rather sag mill, and the double crusher from Actual Additions is making sand reliably, and then half of that sand is being pushed over here to the sag mill, which has a random chance of being turned into silicone. And it's all being turned off once we get to a certain level of silicone. We have a automatically crafting atomic reconstructor, and this guy down here, the empowerer, is set up for automatic crafting as well. And this is all set up, hooked up with my refined storage network. Behind here, we have our quantum quarry, and the quantum quarry is just decorated for no real reason. It's just for fun. And if I flip the lever, then we're going to start getting an oodle of resources, and you can see that the little particles are going on around it. But we don't really need resources. But that does bring us to, I'll demonstrate later what the whole resource pool is even for. So we'll leave it on so I can show you what some of the stuff that we've done is. Here we have the molecular transformer. It's from Advanced Solar Panels, and it's making us some iridium. This is our secondary, I guess at this point, form of creating power is from 10 geothermal generators being powered from blood magic produced lava. And then it's being stored in an MFE and an MFSU. We have a double buffer. And this was pretty much my first set of power armor in the entire map. Pretty fun, huh? This room is not all that old, but it's pretty much home to some pretty crazy cool stuff. We have our plain old crafting grid right here in the middle, and the controller is located 2 blocks beneath it. Here we have a wall of just a few various machines that we use here and there from Ender.io and Forestry as well. And then back here we have our wireless RF battery for extra utilities, which we don't use too much, but we do have a few things that run off of the wireless RF from that, such as the Empower downstairs. The capacitor bank here is also our main storage for power. I had intended to upgrade this to Vibrant at some point, but we'll see if that happens still. And then this is our power cell, which looks like it has a massive energy buffer because we actually have a lot of these all linked to the same power cell link card for the same ID. Behind here, it is very difficult to see, and I don't want to accidentally destroy something, so let's see if we can do this graciously. Here we go. We have a timed for every 30-minute defragmentation of my drives, such that all the drives get extracted, put in here, wait, and then get pushed back in here again. And in the process of getting pushed back in here, they don't actually go straight to the disk drive. They leave one of them behind, try to drain the other 3, and then it'll sort things properly. Because sometimes with refined storage, you'll have items that should be going into a external storage that actually go into your drive, even though the external storage has higher priority. And we're a victim of that, but I worked around it. Over here, we have our automatic tool disenchanting. Pretty much made this specifically for the fishers that we have outside, the fishing nets that we have outside, which are getting us enchanted bows and enchanted fishing rods. Neither of which I need, but the enchanted books are great. So we're disenchanting them automatically there. And now to the main story of the house. We have an array of IC2 machines, all with overclockers. The original work tables, these haven't really moved since I think maybe the first 10 episodes of the Let's Play. Pretty funny, actually. We have the bed, of course, and a resonator, framing table, a few other things. Part of our ore auto processing system is located here. And then this is the second part of our ore processing system, which smelts the dust when they get back from where they're going, which I'll talk about in a minute. If you look up, you can see little versions of me because, well, why not? I'm not actually full of myself, but I think that was still cool. And then if you come up here, you can see our supply of bulk resources all being stored in storage stores. That's pretty much all that's up here anymore. There used to be a lot of crazy stuff, but there's not anymore. We moved it all elsewhere. So, moving on. We have a cow farm and sheep farm. No big deal. We have our Botania farm over here, which has the garden area up here and a runic altar hidden in the trunk of the tree that it lives in. And then all the way at the bottom is very hard to get to. But we have our Kekamuras, which is how we're producing mana, and we're just shooting it straight through the ceiling here. And if we run down here, this is how we're making our cakes. We have an agricraft farm, which is kind of working. We have chickens, which are automatically having their eggs picked up and their feathers picked up, so we have feathers and eggs in plenty of good supply. We have an automatic milking setup over here with a cow. And then if I just show you behind here, this is our automatic wheat and sugarcane farm using agricraft and a few mechanical users. Pretty simple. And this is using just a network from refined storage that doesn't actually have an interface hooked up to it anywhere. So you can't actually see what's going on, but who cares? It's something that just kind of runs headlessly, if you will. So, moving on. If we were to have ores, which we certainly do, you can see where they're being processed right through here. So the ores are going to end up getting, I'm really proud of how this system turned out. The ores will get exported into a buffer and get dropped here, as you saw. They got picked up by the hopper and dispensed in here into the cart loader, which is eventually going to have a cart launched right to it. And when the cart comes, it'll pick up all the ores in here and traverse down the cartway. And here it comes. And we'll follow where it goes once it gets done. So it's going to quickly load. It doesn't actually take very long to load up. And if we follow this guy along, and we've got remember, this is coming back from where we're going, and these dusts here are going to get smelted. But this guy here is actually running all the way over here, dropping everything off in the item unloader, which dropped off into... I'm actually picking up the dust. Dropped off there, as you can see. And, boom, it's going to start shooting an elevator upwards with all these ores. So where did the ores go? Well, the ores go over here into the factory. So that's where we started, and this is where we ended. Sorry, I was running out of my flight here. But this is where we ended. I'm not happy with the way this factory looks. Don't get me wrong, it's ugly. So yeah, take it how you will, but I think this looks terrible. It looks cool when I first built it, I thought, because I liked the portal theme, but it doesn't look anything like a factory. So, yeah, not particularly thrilled. But here we have our crusher automatically processing our ores. Hopefully those ores will come in here soon. We can watch them fly right across the conveyor up here at the top. Here they come. And boom, dropped right in to be processed. And as they get processed, they go down the conveyor belt that you guys already saw. This is my automatic steel production, which is being linked up with some ender chests. I already showed you guys that. And then we have the coke ovens, which I never actually did anything with the second one that I made. I've only slightly made it such that the first one was automated using that chest. But all of our creosote is being stored down here, with the excess creosote being voided. So with all of that there, that's the top of the mountain here, and our power is actually being produced over here for a lot of our stuff. Now, granted, it's not producing power for our base, but it is powering our machinery up there, as well as our farm over here. I think maybe not anymore. I don't even remember. I'd have to look. So it's actually 12 water wheels, and then down here, if you walk down here, this is where we have our water mills for extra utilities. And then on the top here, we also have some of the thermoelectric generators. I very much love these for early game power, so you'll probably see me use them again soon if I do decide to restart the single player. Moving right along, over here we have our very first mine shaft, or at least the very first one of the Let's Play. And this has our button-activated wither farm, which I haven't used since I made it. But this is pretty neat because it will actually kill our wither for us completely automatically, unless something has broken, which it has not. So it's killing the wither using some actually efficient lasers with Lens of the Killers on them. And it placed everything automatically for us. And the output, whenever we do kill this guy, which by the way, the entire circuit is being controlled by Super Circuit Maker. And this red lamp indicates whenever you're on a cooldown timer and you do not want to press the button again. Because if you do, then you're going to have to fight the wither yourself. So just wait until the red lamp is off. It's just kind of a side effect. But boom, it got us a nether star. Easy peasy. Here's our first nether portal. Also has not moved. And through the other side, we have a very small little micro nether room that I made with a few of the standing stones from roots. And this was made specifically so that I could harvest and hopefully farm, but I never really used a whole lot of them, of the roots special drops, which I'm hoping to get because I don't remember what they're called, but I don't think it's a big deal. There we go. Infernal bulb. That's right. So this was made specifically for the purpose of getting infernal bulbs because I could have auto-farmed them, but I've noticed that auto-farming does not actually get you the bulbs, which is fine. Perfectly fair. So everything else down here just continues to go downward into a farm. I'm disappointed that Steve's carts didn't work out the way that I wanted to, but it's not really the end of the world. I think that everything turned out more or less okay. This building, before I remodeled it slightly, was actually pre-generated, and it was our first home. This was pretty cool stuff to go back and think about, but we have basically some starts to Tinker's Construct stuff here, and that's pretty much all that's still here now is Tinker's Construct type items. So at least there is that. Over here we have the apiary, which you guys already know about. It's shaped like a bee comb, or a honeycomb, and has some stuff in it. Pretty neat. Pretty straightforward. I'm trying to think of where we should visit next. I guess we can go over here to Blood Magic while we're in the area. This was not all that old, but it is a tier 5 blood altar now, as you can tell by the beacons in the four corners, which I used red glass to make red because blood. And I think it's actually a pretty suiting fit. Or fitting whatever. Who cares? Words. So, this is completely automatic blood obtained by pretty much everyone else's ritual. I promise this was not original. I think I already mentioned in the video where I did it, which was only like 4 or 5, maybe 6 episodes ago, when I made this, who I took this design from. But I'm infinitely sacrificing zombies, which are being infinitely healed on graveyard soil. Easy peasy, giving me infinite blood. And beforehand, this was the tranquility area that I built right below my blood altar. But as you can see, it's pretty much pointless at this point. We do have a minor bit of automation here for the slates as well, but this has become more of a pain in the butt than it's really worth. In fact, all the slate process is part of why I've been so disinterested in blood magic in the first place. The slates are honestly awful. I really hate crafting with slates. I do. But that's just how things go. But if we follow the path over here, trust me, I promise there's a reason I'm walking kind of strange circles. I am trying to walk a path that covers everything we've done. I'm hoping to, at least. We can take a walk through the forest and hit up the roots area that I'm ashamed to say we didn't use more, but I also don't know if there was a lot more that we should have done. I feel like we used roots for everything it was mainly intended for, honestly. But we have a roots travel anchor here, of course, and this was our sort of casting altar area with all of the incense, or the incense braziers and our standing stones. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. And then if you wanted to follow the path back out, I actually really like how the path and the foresty feel kind of came to fruition. I think it turned out pretty nice. And then I also kind of tried to flood the path over here this way, so I think that turned out well as well. Although, I don't know, opinions are definitely worth their own. So, wrapping everything up kind of nicely, it will finish up with some of the buildings over here in this area. We have, of course, the bridge, and these are the fissures that I was speaking of earlier, where we were getting lots of stuff. Doesn't seem like we've been getting so much lately, but I did just clear it out not too long ago. We have 3 more automatic farms here for some of the lesser necessary crops. We have wheat. I shouldn't say lesser necessary. Potato. And then the most important, which is why it has been, I don't know, buffed to heck, is I've got greenhouse glass here for our canola. Our canola, it's not paper cone, I promise, it's canola. The canola is used for most of our power right now using the cool canola setup that I showed you guys downstairs in the basement. The problem is that we were running out, so my solution was, let's just make it grow really fast. So I used 4 of the growing standing stones and greenhouse glass. And the combination of these things, plus worms also speed up, basically made this finally worth doing. Finally fast enough to keep up. And now if we head straight down, there's actually a trapdoor, which was originally meant to be like a cellar for storage, but ended up turning into, later turning into another farming ground for verdant sprigs. Because, once again, Roots does not really care for you getting your materials automatically. You have to actually break the crop yourself, which is fair. Both, I think from a coding perspective, I think there's somewhat of a limitation, although I would have to look. But then on top of that, I do think it's a fair mechanic to have. That I don't care for when magic mods allow you to progress through them too quickly because of tech mods. I feel like there's supposed to be some sort of independence there. Over here we have our first tree farm, as well as sugarcane and cactus. And if we warp straight down, you can see where we're getting all of our redstone from. It's a nice little rhododendron farm. Don't worry, the ceiling is not flat. It is decorated. It's just kind of hard to see. But I actually really like this room. In fact, I feel bad that we don't use it more because I really love the colors and the style of this room a lot. But there's unfortunately not all that much that I can do about that. Now, over here we have our runic arsenal, which is where we have made many, many very neat psi spells. We have also gotten some pretty bad and pretty good enchantments here. We're storing all of our experience over here in the experience obelisk, and we're at 699. We have all of our enchanted books from our auto disenchanter coming right here automatically. And then over here we just have an enchanter and our experience solidifier just in case we needed any more. And I'm keeping a hat here just because witches' hats are kind of cool. Oh no, I need that back, thank you. And we run upstairs, we have our to-do board, which is getting astonishingly small. This is part of why I don't really know what else we should do for the Let's Play and why I've kind of considered dropping it. I don't care about the Deep Dark so much anymore. I don't really think it has any particular purpose to us, any reason we would want to visit it, especially for the cost. A side hatchet with a tree felling spell, while cool, is very useless for us as well. Furthermore, improved agricraft crops, I've pretty much tossed this idea out the window because, let's face it, agricraft is in flux right now, and I probably will be uninstalling it if I decide to restart the map, because it's not in good condition right now. It really just isn't. A guardian farm would be cool, but completely useless. We have no need for that whatsoever. And we never did explore the ocean monument, but there's nothing we need there. There's really just nothing that we need. So we'll end it off here at the warp pad, because there's 2 really cool buildings that are worth showing that are linked here. So this is the building where we go to our other dimensions from. And so if we start off in the nether, we have our little push button setter. Pardon the phone going off in the background. My roommate has a very loud ringtone, and his mother does not know how to condense text messages at all. So, this is where we spawn when we take our nether book, and this is where our nether dimlet, rather. And this is where, the reason why we even made this place. We have nether bees, and they are mean, and they require the nether. I feel really happy with how this place turned out as well. I love little hanging fixtures like this, especially with lava where it emulates the dripping. I just love this. Stuff like this makes me really happy. I think it looks fantastic, and I'm totally tooting my own horn, but who cares? I think it's great. As for everything else here, you can see we are supposed to be taking out these automatically. But we're not right now, possibly because our stuff is full. I don't actually know. So I should just take a look to be sure. Oh, you know what? That's why. That's actually very much the reason why, is because I forgot. First of all, wow, I'm surprised we haven't gotten more stuff. But second of all, because I forgot completely to go through and replace the ender chest in here. That was my fault. So there used to be an ender chest in here, but there is not anymore, and that was my fault. I forgot that was something I was responsible for. Oh well, I'll look into that later if we decide to keep this place. But we'll head back to the overworld. We just stand in the matter transmitter. It'll take us back here, and this time we'll dial up the end, and I'll show you my last two creations. This is our end structure, the building that I made for us. It's biotite floor with endstone brick for the wall, and it's in the shape of an eyeball, and it looks really cool in my opinion. I am actually very, 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 very happy with how this place turned out. And to go along with things that I'm happy with how they turned out, because this is the end, there's nothing interesting in the end. So the other thing that I'm very happy for its turnout is the way that this turned out. This is where I fought the Guardian of Gaia twice now, and didn't die, and actually fought the second Guardian of Gaia twice, and didn't die. I don't know how. I'm just evidently better prepared than I used to be, and I use shurikens a lot. But I've made a few custom mossy, chisel and bit mossy stone bricks, and I have some walls here that are slightly customized. Or rather not customized, but like built up in a way that kind of makes it seem customized, where it's like building up some. And I think that this is probably one of my favorite ends that I've ever had in any single player world. And I have built stuff in the end before, so don't look at me crazy like that. It actually is a thing that I've done before. But I think this is definitely one of my favorites. So let's make the natives mad and head on out. Boop. And there you have it. So that is the single player Let's Play world as of episode 53. I really, really feel bad about the last two episodes being wasted. I don't feel bad so much, I don't know, it's kind of a 50-50 of feeling bad because I've been, because I ruined an entire 2 episodes, basically. Or not ruined, but wasted them. I not only feel bad because of that, but I also feel bad because that was, like, kind of a buffer that I was working on, and they were ruined. So it's a very big shame, but I hope you guys understand. I hope you guys also leave in the comments whether or not you want me to keep this world, or if you want me to start fresh with a few mod cleanups and just kind of look at something completely new and different, because I think that would be fun as well. So regardless of how you decide, it's completely on you guys, and I'll choose based on whatever you guys want. So I hope you guys enjoyed the very long tour, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Maybe. Later.